Let's give you the markets update now. The JSE facing mixed Asian session this morning, and global markets under pressure as investors mull the latest regulatory moves by China. China has moved to restrict the time spent by children playing video games, including prohibiting late-night gaming and signaling that the country will step up its fight against anti-competitive behavior and pollution. Independent analyst Jimmy Moyaha joins us now to unpack these and other business stories. Mr. Moyaha, thank you very much for your time. As always, take us through how the markets have opened in early trade.
Good morning, Toli. Well, the markets opened, as you said, rather mixed in early trade. We did see some strengthening on the rand. The rand is trading below that 14.60 mark. Just a continuation of the dollar weakness we saw late on Friday following the Fed Chair Powell's speech around the dollar. We have seen the SA40 trading up about 0.5% in the morning. We've seen a couple of gainers in the early morning trade. Steinhoff up about 15%. Process trading up about 4% off the back of that announcement that's just broke that they're looking to invest in a payment solution company in India. We've seen a couple of good performers early in the morning, and we should expect to see that the companies that reported results like Avenge and Harmony should be trading a little higher this morning as well, despite the fact that Harmony is down about 3% at the moment.
Let's talk company news, or should we say Eskom specifically. It's set to be considering spending 106 billion rand on wind and solar energy by the year 2030. Is this feasible?
Well, Eskom.
Come on, Jimmy.
I mean, let's look at Eskom's record. Eskom at the moment is currently in debt of about 400 billion rand. Their plan is to roll out a project, or this project, over 3 phases between 2022 and 2030. With phase 1 starting in 2022 to 2023, they're estimating numbers around 346 megawatts of solar energy. They've outlined a couple of other numbers around the next phase from 2023 to 2025, and then from 2025 to 2030, some 3,100 megawatts of wind and all of that. Now, the plan itself, aside from the fact that the timeline is, 9 years, and we look at Eskom's track record, it took them 13 years to get Medupi off the ground, which was initially a 5-year project. And now they're saying this is going to take them 9 years to get 160 billion rand off the ground and sort it out. But if we look back to Medupi as well, they'd estimated, I think it was about 130 billion over there. They'd overspent already at this stage on Medupi, and it wasn't even up and running up until recently. So my confidence in the power utility regulator at this stage isn't exactly the highest. Yeah. It becomes very difficult to believe whether or not they're capable of achieving this, short of looking at outsourcing this and partnering with the private sector. And as we've said, this has been the one thing we've said that the private sector is able to come to the party with, and that's that private-public partnership. I think it'll be interesting to see if Eskom is going to open that up, because on their own, they've proven in the past for the last how many years they've had the power utility going that they cannot do it by themselves. So if we go the route of partnering with the private sector and partnering with other stakeholders, and there's accountability around that, then possibly we could potentially see that this might come to light at some point. Yeah. But if Eskom plans to do this by themselves and they want us to foot the bill for another 160 or 106 billion rand, then, I mean, as South Africans, we'll have to ask ourselves a lot of questions.
Jimmy, your skepticism around Eskom is noted, sir. We might just alert Mr. Director, the CEO there. Let's move on to Avenge, which has posted its first full-year profit in 7 years. The mining group reporting a net cash position of 1.1 billion rand. Talk us through those numbers.
Certainly. So, I mean, aside from that net cash position, they've also announced that they got their debt down by about R1 billion. Their revenues were up to about 25.7 billion rand. So overall, the group did perform rather well. Their stock is trading up about 16% in the morning. I mean, it is technically still considered a penny stock because of its valuation at the moment, but it is very, very good result. And as you rightly mentioned, it's the first time they've returned to profits. So from here on and going forward, I think it'll be interesting to see how the business restructures itself and repositions itself given where it's come from. It's one of those businesses that is sort of bottomed out all the way to the bottom and is now starting to turn itself around, and we could very well see some good results out of it coming up. I mean, we saw that they raised about 873 million in equity as well over this last financial year. So from their set of results, a very positive set of results that they put out on their website, and it'll be interesting to see where the company goes in terms of strategic direction from here forward.
Let's end the conversation, Jimmy, with yet another mining company, Harmony Gold, also releasing their results for the year ended 30th June. How has this mining group fared?
Well, their results have also been rather positive, but we've been noting this around the mining sector stocks as well, is that your performance in terms of your production and the commodity super cycle that we started at the start of the year that we've been talking about throughout the year has really paid dividend for a lot of the mining stocks, and Harmony is no different. The one thing that Harmony did note was that earlier, before releasing these results, they had expected that their earnings per share was going to be up about 100% plus, and it seems they've missed that estimate, and that's probably why the share is trading down about 2 to 3% this morning. But on the upside of things, they have had profits up about 66%. They've also had a final dividend of about 27 cents declared, and they've also noted that they've paid about 1.2 billion rand in taxes to the government over this last year. So despite all of that, and despite the production costs were up, they increased production by about 26% as well. So despite all of those adjustments, they did report really good results and really good profits. As we said, this is what we sort of have been expecting and have been noting around the mining sector in the interim. It's whether to see if this demand will continue globally and whether we'll be able to continue exporting the minerals as much as we have been throughout this COVID time.
Independent market analyst Jimmy Moyaha, thank you very much for your time.